Cliff Richard now. We should say that Cliff's on the phone. Good afternoon, Cliff.
Good afternoon, my friends. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're very good, thank you very much. We should say that you're on the phone. We recorded this, so there's no point in people waiting outside Radio 2 for you, is there, Cliff?
No, not at all. But if they want to come to Dublin, I'm happy they should wait outside the airport.
No, don't say that, because you said you're in Dublin to get away from things to rehearse.
I did, yeah. My band and I are over here. It's sometimes easier to just get away from everything. So we've got a fantastic studio that we work at, and had one day's rehearsal, a couple more days, and then we're ready. It's really just a memory trip, this one.
Yeah.
Because I've already done the show in Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia.
This tour is called Still Reeling and a Rockin'. Does that mean that you're really doing upbeat rockin' stuff or reggae stuff?
You know, funny enough, rock and roll has got us, it's kind of the misunderstanding. It's not just a tempo, it's a whole culture of music. So we're doing all of it. But I think we're actually in favor, in terms of the show, of more upbeat stuff. Of course I'm going to sing Miss Unites and Ocean Deep. Of course I have to do Summer Holiday and the Young Ones. But, you know, I'm going to be doing things like Reeling and Rocking, Rip It Up, Go Dream Lover.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of that middle tempo, but it's still pop rock. So it's all that kind of material. And, of course, a whole bunch of stuff. Wide for Sound, We Don't Talk Anymore, Devil Woman. They're all part of the rock and roll world.
When you came in with that last album, which was the soul thing, wasn't it? Soulicious.
Yes. Oh, I mean, I felt I was in heaven, you know. I can't express to people how it felt to sing with Percy Sledge and Frida Payne and the Temptations and the Stylistics. It was just unbelievable. It's one of those things that when I get to be as old as you are, Steve, I'm going to look back on those days
Yeah.
and think, oh my God, did I actually do that?
Very good.
No, it's interesting, though, because you have enough songs. I mean, you could do 10 shows in a row and still not run out of songs.
Well, in terms of the singles I've had, I could certainly do probably 5 different shows and never do the same songs twice. But in the end, what happens is that people have memories of certain songs, and it's for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
They were either number one, or there were songs like Miss Unites, which in fact took a little while to get there, but when it finally got there, it's now settled in certainly the fans. It's the most requested song I have to sing live, and the one time I didn't, I got abusive mail back the next day.
I sometimes wonder what you're thinking on stage, like, because you know my favourite song of yours is Evergreen Tree from Me and My Shadows.
Yes.
And then I also like The Day I Met Marie. There's lots of songs that I like from different eras of your career, and it has been a very, very long career. I wonder, when you're on stage, are you thinking, this is 50s Cliff, this is 60s Cliff, this is 70s, you know, sometimes the way we think of Elvis.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not aware of thinking that myself, because I was trying to express to the fans sometimes, when I do Move It, I'm 18. It doesn't matter what age I am, I'm always going to be 18 when I sing Move It.
Right.
And so, for me, when I go on there, I'm singing a whole gamut of pop rock songs that have taken me all over the world. So each song has a different feeling for me. I've tried to express before that if a Martian came down on the planet and asked me what I did for a living, I wouldn't tell him. I'd just say, play this, and I'd give him Devil Woman.
Really?
So it's one of those things. And of course, I've achieved a lot in my life, and I could never grumble about anything, really. I like working, and if I can keep singing, if I can keep having people show up at my concerts, I can make records now and then. One thing I've got to tell you, I've just discovered this about a few weeks ago, I can never equal what Daniel O'Donnell's just done. Did you know he's the first man ever to have a top 10 album every year for 25 years.
Wow.
And
I
yet,
don't think that's what I've heard, and I'm so happy for him.
Well,
he's a good mate of mine, and to think that no one else has ever done anything like that. So I guess I'm never going to do that, but I'm happy with what I've done.
he's kind of under the radar a little bit, isn't he? You wouldn't know that, you wouldn't think that, but you're...
I mean, in a way, many of us are kind of under the radar now. It's just one of those things.
BBC Radio 2, 22 minutes to 5. We're talking to Cliff, who's on the phone line from Ireland. What would you say, Cliff, are the songs that most represent you as an artist and what you always wanted for yourself, how you wanted to be perceived? What are the songs in your history that represent you as an artist?
I mean, I started in the early rock and roll days when rock and roll was in its infancy. So for me to record Move It, I mean, Move It was such a dream come true. It sounded American. I felt American, and everyone thought I was American at first.
Yeah.
America's the fatherland of rock and roll. So for me to have made a record like that, which is now unquestionably an iconic rock and roll song, that's certainly one of them. Yes, I like all the stuff I've done. I love the Summer Holidays and the Young Ones and all that, but that was taking me into a different little area, another little nook of rock and roll.
And do you think that you've ever compromised in any way? Oh, I'll do that because that's the thing of the moment.
I've never compromised with songs. I've always only ever recorded songs I liked, but I'm not a stupid person, although I may look it. It's just that sometimes you have to say, okay, this is not my favorite song on the album, but I know what EMI mean when they say they'd like to release that as a single. Because there's something about it that you think that could hook into people. And so far, between us, we've actually used our instincts and we've been right about the songs that make the charts. But, I mean, if you gave me a whole bunch of my albums, I would probably pick out another 123 songs that I preferred.
Yeah. Tim's got one for you.
Well, no, I was just going to say that's the essence in a sense of keeping going and of your success, because you have to go from different genre to different genre or different styles. And you've always been good at doing that. Have you done that alone, Cliff? Or have there been people around you to advise and say, why don't you try this?
The first person that ever made me try something different was Norrie Paramore, who was the guy that gave me the first, 15 years of chart success. The Norrie Paramore Orchestra, that famous orchestra that he led. Yeah. And he said to me, you should try singing some of these old American songbook stuff. And sure enough, I went into the studios. This was in 1962, I think. And I recorded with him and his orchestra. And it was great fun. And it taught me to express ballads, to try and use the lyrics rather than anything else about it to make the song work. And I found that a great treat. And since that time, of course, I've not been afraid. I did an album just about 3 years ago called Boulder's Brass, and I sang with a swing band.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, I did enjoy it. When pop people try to do that, I love the Rod Stewart albums.
And the Robbie Williams was pretty good too,
well,
wasn't it?
As I say, I had to go at those songs in 1962. So Rod's had the bigger success, but I was the first.
Of course. Let me just do the Still Reeling and a Rockin' tour dates. 1st of June 2013, that's Harewood House in North Yorkshire. Manchester Arena on the 2nd of June. On the 6th of June for Cliff Richard, Blickling Hall in Warwickshire. On the 8th of June, Warwick Castle. On the 9th of June, it's Hatfield House in Hertfordshire. 15th of June, the County Ground Hove in Sussex. Pannerham Castle on the 16th of June. And then the 22nd of June, Hampton Court Palace Festival. And those two are, in fact, totally sold out. So you've got to be quick, really. And you love to perform live, and it's incredible. And you still look great. And every time we speak to you, every time anybody speaks to you, they always ask the question, well, when are you going to jack it in? And I don't know why they say that, because nobody wants to jack it in, do they?
No, not really. And I always feel that while you can still do it, why not do it? I said in one interview recently that if my voice packed up, of course I'd have to stop. If the public stopped coming to see me, of course I'll have to stop. But while there's a number of people that are happy to come out, I'm happy to go and do the shows. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned Blickling Hall in Warwick. It's Blickling Hall in Norfolk.
Yeah, I was just testing to see if you were listening.
Sorry about...
I want all those Norfolkians rushing up to Warwick.
Yeah, exactly. Get it right, will you?
Thank you for correcting me, Cliff. I appreciate that. You can see Cliff on his Still Reeling and Rockin' tour around the UK next month. And the DVD of the tour, by the way, will be released on the 11th of November. And we'll let you get on with the rehearsals now. Thanks for joining us, Cliff. We appreciate that as usual. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
Good night, buddy. Yeah.